Create your G702 after you've completed the G703 for the pay period. Again, be sure that you have a project set up with a complete project team in the online service. Then, create a document draft using the G702 template. That will prompt you to designate your retainage type. Remember, fixed retainage rate is where a constant percentage is withheld from the overall contract amount, whereas variable retainage is when one or more portions of the work call for a different retainage rate than the rest. If you're working with variable retainage, make sure you've completed column I in your continuation sheet. If you have previous payment applications for this project, import your data from the most recent one. Also, import your data from the most recent G703. If you have a complete project team in your online service project, the party information will auto-populate at the top of the document. Then start at the top right corner, designating the last day of the pay period for which you are applying in the Period 2 section, the type of contract in the Contract 4 section, for example, general construction or mechanical work, the date of the original contract, and any project numbers if applicable. Line 1 is your original contract sum. This number does not change throughout the project. Line 2 is any changes to the contract sum that have been authorized by change orders. The total here populates from the change order summary at the bottom. Line 3 then accounts for your contract sum to date. Line 4 is what you've completed and/or have purchased and stored to date. If you're working with fixed retainage, you'll account for that in line 5, where you'll enter the retainage rate for work completed and stored materials, and the online service will automatically calculate the dollar amount of the retainage. If you're working with variable retainage, this section will remain blank. Line 6 will designate the value of the work you've completed so far with retainage taken into account, and line 7 will subtract the amount that you've already applied for in previous applications, thus isolating the amount you are applying for in this pay period, which is designated in line 8. This amount also auto-populates in the Architect's Certification section, though it is editable because the architect can technically certify a different amount due if warranted. Line 9 then designates what is left to complete. The contractor then certifies the application with their own information, leaving the architect to certify the amount due. Once you are done working in your draft, you can save in draft form to revisit later, or you can finalize from within the online editor. If you finalized your G702 and G703 for a pay period and would like to combine them into one PDF, use the Project Manual feature.